What's up, guys? Chris here with an Eden Zero video, theory type discussion video in all honesty, after the events of chapter 168. And you are seeing my face for the first time since I've done these Eden Zero reviews. And if you've been a part of the channel since like 2020, you'll be thinking that it's been a year since I've actually been doing a video with my actual face. And this time I'm not in a chair with a plain background. I'm standing in front of a plain background. Whether or not I could use this as a green screen, I honestly don't think I can. I'm planning on getting some posters or something for the walls so it's not like too plain looking. For now, for whatever video I'll talk about, I'm just gonna have whatever panels or images I'm talking about like in this general vicinity. And for those of you wondering why I'm starting to do this now, well, one of the main reasons is I've been planning to do some other types of videos similar to this, like a mix of how I used to do things plus some real editing work that I've had my previous reviews been done. And I also got a new tripod, so if you can't tell from the resolution and how the audio is, I'm doing this through my freaking phone because at the moment I can't afford a really top tier camera to record everything. I mean, I have the iPhone 11, so the resolution isn't too bad. But, you know, you can tell it's not the greatest. Same with the audio quality. But I'm doing the best I can at the moment, so I'll probably find something else to help with, like a mic, so I could have... But that's not really important. Plus, I also got a neat little remote where I could actually, like, pause or start recording whenever I want. So, pretty handy. But anyway, as you can see from the title of this video, I want to talk about the Oracion Seis Galactica. Primarily the final three members that were introduced in the previous chapters. Dead Crow, Archbishop Samefire Nox. I have the pictures literally right below me. And God Aknoella, the Mother of Dragons. So these three members are set up to be like the strongest out of the rest of the Oracion Seis Galactica. I mean, Elsie is still around, but she's not really considered much of a threat since she doesn't exactly like terrorize people or is, you know, perceived as like a god level threat to the universe. But we already had two previous members of this, well, you can call them group, but they're just classified as this group. They don't really interact with each other much. Were defeated and were like the main focuses of the initial arc/sagas that we've had. Draken Joe was the lead up for the end of the Sakura Cosmos saga. And Nero and Shura, technically, were the Oracion Seis Galactica meant to cap off the Ali Cosmos saga. So now we got three new ones introduced, and perceivably from order of the introductions through these chapters, that's the order we'll go into. We'll go into Crow, Nox, and then Aknoella. So presumably that's going to be how the order of events is going to transpire. But the main thing I'm going to go with this video, as I stated, is I'm going to talk about what their potential powers could be and how strong they could be used with, and if Majima wants to try and make, especially the last one, Aknoella, like a living fairy tale reference. But in order of appearance, let's actually start with Dead End Crow, titled The Titan of Eternal Darkness. Now, obviously, I'm literally making an entire video based off of 3 freaking panels. So you could tell that there is some sort of thing that I could get off with this. I'm pretty sure there are people either on Twitter or a subreddit or wherever making theories on how these characters' eventual powers will be revealed and how strong they could be. Now, before I get into that, I do presume that all these characters are going to end up being the villains of their own sagas or arcs, obviously, similar to like Draken Joe and Nero. But let's just really quick go into Dead End Crow, as his design, everyone is put up into these types of silhouetted images, so we don't know what their full designs are. And the final designs can very well change in the end, so there's no real clear answer as to what their designs are going to eventually fully look like. This is something that happens in a lot of series where you have the silhouetted designs, but they can be drastically different just with the base silhouette. But what I'm going with is what Crow's ether gear abilities can in fact be. which is he might have some sort of time-based ether gear. Reason being, well, the background that he's presented with seems to be like the gears of a clock, if you look pretty closely, and perhaps he has some sort of ether gear that can control time. He also has the nickname the Eternal Darkness, so perhaps he might also have two ether gears, similar to what happened with Ziggy at the end of the Aoi Cosmos arc. So that's a very strong possibility, but it could be the fact that he's using this ether gear constantly to keep his, let's just say, his territory in a type of like full-on like nighttime setting, and perhaps that's where he can feel the strongest or most comfortable. I mean, if you can affect the drastic time of an entire cosmos or a whole planet, you can see how strong it is. And we do have a time-based ether gear already in the form of Rebecca, since she can basically time travel technically. But yeah, I mean, there's nothing fully concrete about her being a full-fledged time traveler. Like I stated in a review, and this has been brought up many times in the subreddits and even in on some Twitter threads, that's probably just Rebecca's consciousness being brought back in time, not her rewinding time. But maybe Crow can actually manipulate time around him to a very limited extent, hopefully, perhaps just freeze time or slow things down or speed things up. Or the other possibility is that he has an ether gear and a mother relic similar to how Nero had his Empire dice. This is something that's probably going to be common with the last two members that I will talk about. Now, Crow, he's said to be the Eternal Darkness. So let's just say that maybe his ether gear has something to do with, well, darkness erasing light. Then perhaps his relic would be something to manipulate time, hence the giant clock. As we've seen, the relics can be something similar as like a bottle cap, just with the ether like infused with it. Or with Nero is dice, and they have like a specific like combat ability to be used with. And that's something we can speculate with the other two, but there isn't too much to go off of, primarily with the final one. So that's pretty much it. Den and Crow, from the background he's used to and his title, he could either just be a fully fledged like time manipulator with his ether gear, or he has either something based in darkness as his ether gear, and then he has some kind of relic that could very well just control time, in all honesty. Perhaps it really is maybe just one giant ass clock that he constantly sits behind so no one could steal it. But that's pretty much it for Dead and Crow, because I kind of like rambled on with that one. Next up is Archbishop Saint Fire Nox. And I stated this in the video, perhaps it's as a type of faith type ether gear, for all we know. And maybe the staff that she's holding is a relic. But we don't know what that could possibly do, because she's basically said Saint Fire and she's an Archbishop, which is where I get like the whole like faith manipulation type power is. Because you see a lot of these in fiction where you have these characters that have basically seemingly grow stronger the more people like have like a type of like religious faith in them. So perhaps she started a whole fake religion for an entire planet, and they all worship her, and that worship ends up becoming her physical strength, and maybe her ether gear is that particular power, or it could be the relic being the staff that she's holding to, like, I don't know, concentrate it into a single point to be used as a weapon. Again, I'm still being this is all honestly just pure speculation, so I'm just pulling stuff out of my ass right here. So Nox, for all we know, either the staff could be something similar to Faith, or she could have a fire-based ether gear, which is why she called Saint Fire. And maybe the whole Archbishop thing is maybe she can make people think it's like a divine thing that she can like manipulate flames. Maybe these flames can do other things, like maybe purifying, like how in other works of fiction there are flames that can purify people. So you take the good with the bad in a sense. So this is honestly the tougher one for me to think of, since there's not too much. Because the only thing I get the whole Faith is, you know, her title is Archbishop, and the fact that there's literally a freaking cathedral in the background when she is introduced. And the garbs do kind of show that maybe she's like some sort of archbishop or something in a religious order. Which brings us to the final member that we got introduced to, and by honestly, I consider this a big old fairy tale reference with the name alone, with the name and title alone. God Aknoella, the Mother of Dragons. So, And there's a little giant space dragon right behind her that we saw at the end throughout Eden Zero, basically. So what my theory is that maybe it has this character, maybe she has some sort of power, ether gear power that's similar to that of dragons. Maybe it could be like some sort of like twist on Dragon Slayer powers from Fairy Tail, and maybe there's an ether gear that's literally just that. Just literally Dragon Slayer powers, just maybe space, maybe like for stars, or maybe just all-encompassing. And like I said, the name God in Act Noella, it's literally like a full-on reference to God Serena from Fairy Tail, one of the strongest wizards in Fiore, that just got one-shotted by Acnologia, and Act Noella being a little reference to Acnologia, the literal final boss of Fairy Tail. And one thing I kind of hope for is Majima doesn't go the same route with Act Noella as did with Acnologia, with the fact that she would probably have some sort of ether gear that she can absorb other ether gears. But yeah, she's also called the Mother of Dragons, so perhaps, this is honestly some pure speculation here, her power can manipulate the space dragons that like literally roam the universe or other cosmos, especially like Dragonfall, that separated the Sakura cosmos and the Aoi cosmos. But yeah, this one, not too much to go off of, perhaps has some kind of like dragon-based powers. And the whole Mother of Dragons thing is kind of like also another nod to Fairy Tail, with Urza's mom basically being the progenitor of the Dragon Slayer magic. So, I mean, this last character is literally just one giant reference to like 3 separate characters in Fairy Tail. I'm not opposed to this. This is honestly kind of funny and I like it. But it also kind of makes you think, how strong could this character be if it's literally named that they're 3 of the strongest characters or broken characters in that whole series. So it's food for thought. But yeah, that's pretty much what I kind of came up with these last 3 members of the Oracion Seis Galactica. One could have a time-based or dark-based ether gear / relic. Same with Nox, with having something like faith-based and fire-based, for all we know. Act Noella, still super vague. If we just use the title, then obviously she could have some sort of dragon-based abilities that we know nothing about. But yeah, it's basically everything that I could come up with within the few days after reading the chapter. And I have no idea when this video is going to come out, perhaps before or after my chapter review, because I'm still working on that one. Now, as a last minute thing, don't worry, I am not going to start doing these for all my videos, even though that would make things a lot quicker. I do want to keep my reviews the same way that they've always been, and have the classic like miscellaneous reviews that I've been doing the same way as usual. I just figured that I'm going to do like a change of pace and upload a couple of videos similar to this for like theories or discussions, similar to how like Taking 101 does his videos. And maybe do something else. I have something in the works that's going to involve doing a video like this. So yeah, hopefully things can just go well. If you like me doing these types of videos and just me showing you guys my actual face for once in like a year, then don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell for updates on future videos. Leave your comments down below on what you think of my speculations of how these characters could be that strong or what their abilities could be, as well as, well, give me your thoughts and theories on what their powers and abilities can be down below in the comments, because I really do want to start a little discussion going for these characters that are literally just introduced now and we have no information off of them whatsoever, which is the fun of speculating what future characters can be capable of. But yeah, that's really all I can tell you for this video. Hope you all enjoyed. Don't forget to like and subscribe like I just said. Comment down below your thoughts and opinions and your own theories. And with all that said and done, I hope you all have an awesome day.